If you're a young professional thinking about relocating to Las Vegas, you should keep your eye on the Skye Canyon and Providence neighborhoods. I'm going to cover neighborhood details, what the day-to-day life looks like in these neighborhoods, the housing stats, and I'm even going to show you a quick property tour. I'm Kristina Alexa, and this is Vegas Unlocked. This series is perfect for anyone who wants the real inside scoop of Las Vegas. Let's get started. Skye Canyon and Providence are located in the northwest corner of Las Vegas. So this is going to be primarily the zip codes 89149 and 89166, with Providence primarily being in 89149 and Skye Canyon being in 89166. And 89166 also covers just a little bit of what would just be considered like traditional Centennial Hills and not one of these master plan communities. To get to the Skye Canyon and Providence neighborhoods, residents typically take the 215 freeway here in Las Vegas. Major primary exits are going to be Wallapai. You can also get to a small part of Providence from Ann Road and then use Fort Apache as well. So these neighborhoods are going to be located exactly on the left side of the 215, as you can see on this map here, and also somehow on the left side of the 95. So you can truly take any of these freeways to get to these neighborhoods. The middle school is primarily going to be zoned for the Escobedo Edmundo middle school, and then the high school, there's multiple options. There's Arborview, and then there's Centennial High School as well. I would say the vast majority of every subdivision in both Skye Canyon and Providence are going to be single family residentials, and there's going to be a bit fewer neighborhoods of townhomes and very, very, very little condo options in actual like Skye Canyon and Providence master plans themselves. In fact, I don't think there's any condo option. If you're looking to buy a condo, there's townhouse and single family residential. But if you're looking to buy a condo, you're gonna have to go more so on the outskirts of Providence and Skye Canyon, closer to the true heart of Centennial Hills. When we go look at properties, I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. The average days on market right now as I'm filming this, which is September 2025, the average, not the median, but the average days on market for a single family residential is going to be 69 days. That means if you were to sell a house with me today, we put it on the market, it's typically going to take 2.5 months to actually get sold and attract that new buyer into your home. And the median price right now, so I'm doing median for the price point, it's fluctuating between $540,000 and $560,000. There's definitely plenty of options below this median price point for single fams and townhouses. This is just the median for the single family currently in September of 2025 as I'm filming this video. Now that you know the major details of the Skye Canyon and Providence neighborhoods, let's look at the actual day-to-day living and what it truly looks like to go out and about in Providence and Skye Canyon. The general vibe of these neighborhoods is very suburbs. This isn't a part of Las Vegas where the pace of life is fast. This is a part of Las Vegas where I would say you can clearly see that suburb feel where, 8, 9 a.m., a lot of people are commuting to work. It's a little bit quieter during the days, and then 5, 6, and 7 p.m., you see people arriving home from their short commute, because living in the northwest side of Las Vegas, oftentimes you are going to have a short commute, anywhere from 10 minutes to upwards of 30 minutes if you happen to work on the opposite side of town. Qualify Skye Canyon and Providence as just like a true suburb in Las Vegas. There isn't going to be any type of like really, really cool event in Skye Canyon that's like a concert or a festival or a parade. You're gonna find more of those activities closer to the Strip and different neighborhoods located in downtown Las Vegas. But I'm not just going to have you trust my word. We're actually gonna go right now to Skye Canyon and Providence so I can show you exactly what it looks like. Let's go. All right, so something that I will say Providence is going to get a red flag for is the fact that they don't have any type of central shopping center, while Skye Canyon does. So this is basically exactly that. This is like the central kind of plaza for the Skye Canyon neighborhood. It is anchored by this Smith's, which is a Smith's marketplace, which means, to my knowledge, it's like a little bit bigger than a regular Smith's. And if you're not from Vegas and you don't know what this is equivalent to like a Vaughn's or an Albertsons here in Vegas, this chain. So in addition to Smith's, there's a ton of other kind of quick service restaurants, quick service medical offices, like this clinic right here, and then there's another medical office. There's a vet right across. So this is the Skye Canyon vet right across from the Smiths in the same shopping center. Right here is actually a little neighborhood bar, which is super cool. There's actually a bar also inside that Smith's grocery store, which is such a Vegas thing. You heard me correct. There is a bar inside the grocery store, Smith's, which I think is really funny. And then on this side of the plaza, there's really just like the kind of quick service. There's a Cleaners, there is the Sally Beauty Supply, the Italian place right here is a local Italian place, and then there's the Domino's. I snuck into that Sally Beauty Supply just to see if it was a good one, and it really is a good one. It's actually pretty spacious in there. They were just having a 50% off sale, but I just missed it by one day. But I just got what I needed, which was just some little hair ties and some scrunchies. So I am gonna rate that Sally Beauty Supply a solid, honestly, 9 out of 10. That was like a bigger Sally Beauty Supply than usual, and I'm glad that I know that there's one of these now over here in Skye Canyon. When comparing Providence to Skye Canyon itself, even though they're right next to each other, Providence does not have anything kind of unique or special about that neighborhood, with the exception of its like East Coast charm. There really isn't like one big wow unique feature about Providence that really stands out to me, whereas Skye Canyon, the biggest selling feature and the most unique thing about Skye Canyon itself is the Skye Canyon Clubhouse. So the unique selling feature about Skye Canyon is going to be this clubhouse here. So this is an amenity that all of the residents of Skye Canyon actually pay into through their HOA fees. So this is a huge kind of just recreational park on this side. There's a playground up there, playground here. On the other side of this gate in this clubhouse, there's a gym that every Skye Canyon resident has access to. This is another like little like wet play park for younger children, and then on the other side of this there is another pool for all ages, if you can kind of see it there. And then in that building there, that back building is actually going to be like a really cool kind of hub. It's like a lodge feel in there. It feels like a really cool lodge. And in there you actually get to find out all the information you would ever need to know about the Skye Canyon neighborhood itself, as far as like what amenities you get for being a resident of Skye Canyon. This is something that I obviously couldn't make this video without addressing, because it is such a key factor of this neighborhood. All right, let me tell you a little bit more about the day-to-day life in Providence and Skye Canyon. I have some fun facts and trivia for you prepared. Let me tell you a deal breaker about Skye Canyon and Providence. Kind of touched on it earlier. You are most likely going to have a small, short commute. Skye Canyon and Providence are not neighborhoods that have every single kind of staple of life, or a lot of like the workforce is located in Skye Canyon, Providence, so you're likely gonna have a commute. Common things I would like that come to mind or that locals say about Skye Canyon and Providence. I would say when people bring up Skye Canyon, immediately they're gonna assume that you are in a new construction home. And this is because Skye Canyon has probably a little bit over a dozen Skye Canyon new construction neighborhoods to choose from. So like the most notable thing for Skye Canyon is going to be new construction, single family residentials. And then if you were to tell someone, oh, I live in Providence, I feel like the first thing that is going to come to mind is just going to be like, oh, isn't that Bicentennial? I will be honest, Providence itself isn't a particular neighborhood with a very unique or special feature that has it at the top of the most notable neighborhoods of Las Vegas. You really have to know Providence and visit it to appreciate the beautiful suburb that it is. Let's do red flags and green flags about Skye Canyon and Providence. Starting with the green flags, I would say the biggest green flag about Skye Canyon and Providence is the single family residential affordability. Kind of fluctuates at the 500 to, I would say, 530. And we see that oftentimes as like the first time buyer or the starter home price point. So the biggest green flag about both Providence and Skye Canyon is that they have this price point for single family residentials. Let's do a red flag. So the red flag, I truly covered it already in the video. The red flag about Providence is that there is not a special charm to this community. There's no really special unique feature that I would say is like a selling feature or the wow of the community. Now, a green flag for both Providence and Skye Canyon is going to be that they both have a surplus, and I mean a surplus of parks. I think that's a really big green flag. I love a suburb neighborhood with just so much walking trails and parks for all ages to just exercise, use at the end of the day. Now, the last red flag, I only have one more kind of con to say about these neighborhoods, and it's the driving times towards other areas. Neither Skye Canyon or Providence have like a ton of amenities as far as restaurants or grocery. They do have restaurant and grocery options, but they're not going to have every single option, you know, every single price point, every single kind of selection in these neighborhoods. You're gonna, for example, if you wanted to get to the Costco, you're gonna have to drive outside of Providence and Skye Canyon. Same thing for a Walmart. If that's something that you go to a lot, there's not a Walmart located in Providence or Skye Canyon. You're gonna have to drive outside of town, outside of those specific neighborhoods, to Centennial Hills or Summerlin. The next segment is the superlatives, or like the most likely to. What award I would give as a local and as a young professional who relocated to Vegas? What award would I give Skye Canyon and Providence? And I really am taking my time to think about these things because, like I said, this series is gonna cover every neighborhood in Las Vegas. So I'm gonna be able to rank them at the end. So the award I would give Providence and Skye Canyon is the neighborhood most likely to attract a first-time Vegas resident. So I'm saying you are likely to end up in Providence or Skye Canyon if you're buying a home for the first time in Las Vegas. Every single property I've sold in these neighborhoods, it's been exactly for the type of person I'm describing. Someone who's relocating from out of state who wants to buy a single family residential. So they want the space and the land and they want to be at that price point I mentioned earlier. And then maybe in the future, in a few years, as they establish themselves in Las Vegas, go to a neighborhood with possibly a higher price tag, or move into a property with a lot more square footage, or move into that next upgrade for themselves. All right, so you know all the details about Providence and Skye Canyon neighborhoods. You know what it feels like on the day-to-day life. Now let's get into the housing statistics, and then I'm going to show you a few properties. The median age of somebody living in Skye Canyon or Providence, 89149 zip code, is going to be 37 years old. So I consider that kind of young. Again, that's a median age, not an average. Median, 37 years old. And then the average age of homes, you have the early 2010s, you have the mids, the 12s to 2015, 16, 17, and then you have 2020 and newer that it stands out a lot because these have a lot of very sleek modern finishes. Something you would be able to notice if you were to walk through a property over here in the Skye Canyon and Providence neighborhoods. Now, I hope that all made sense to you and that is of value to you if you are watching, and I answered a lot of questions that you may have. If you want to view any homes in Skye Canyon or Providence or have any further questions, there's going to be a form in the description of this video that you can fill out. And once you fill that out, I will personally reach out to you within 24 hours. Now, let's go view some of these properties in Skye Canyon and Providence. Here is an example of a 2024 townhome located here in A9166. I want to point out that the townhome comes not with a yard but with an extended patio like so. And then the floor plan is very similar to almost like a loft style is what I would describe it as. So these are going to be quartz countertops. This is the garage here. This is your 2-car garage. So this garage, you're going to most likely enter the home through here. This garage is on the other side of the front door, like the front facing part of the townhome. So that is a no I want to make. A townhome is going to be a really good decision for somebody that is perhaps owned a condo before or has never owned anything before, and is someone who's currently renting and perhaps wanting to own a piece of property but not wanting to put in the maintenance that is required of a brand new like single family residential home, because single family residential homes are fantastic. However, they are a lot of maintenance. The taxes sometimes could be higher on single families versus townhomes, as well as the potential neighborhood fees associated with the property. So if you were a buyer who wanted to move to this neighborhood, hasn't owned real estate before, or maybe has owned real estate in a different state or city, wants something that is not going to have a lot of property taxes, but that's not a single family residential and huge, this townhouse would be perfect for you. So on the second level, we can turn left to the master or right to the other bedrooms. This is also going to be a really good fit if someone is moving here with roommates. And by roommates, I mean your children, your sister, your brother, your friends, your cousin. The townhouse option is going to be really fantastic to relocate to Vegas to, and just to get a footing in of what, you know, this side of town looks like, what it's truly like to make mortgage payments if you haven't owned before. And then this is the master. So something unique about these townhomes is they have, I like to call this isn't Jack and Jill. I like, in my mind, call this like hotel setup, the way there's 2 sinks and small vanities on either side of this master, the toilet room, and then the walk-in shower. So no tub here in this new construction. No tub, and there's really not going to be very particular high-end finishes, even though this home was built last year. And that is because when you're buying new construction and you're buying a townhouse, you don't necessarily have to go all out and put in every single new upgrade into the townhouse, because you're not going to see the return on investment on luxurious upgrades in a townhouse as much as you would see in a single family residential. So that is a con. If you're thinking about comparing like townhouse, single family, condo, a con of owning a townhouse is the property values themselves are somewhat attached to obviously the townhome neighborhood, because it is not considered like a one-of-one piece of real estate like a single family residential that can potentially go for like an exponential amount if you put a ton of upgrades in the property. Because it's a townhouse, it's, even if you put millions and millions and millions of dollars of upgrades in the townhome, it's not going to like guarantee you a certain kind of guaranteed equity in a home if you plan on selling this. So this is a perfect townhouse. It was done perfectly in my eyes because there's not a ton of upgrades in like the countertops or cabinetry. It's really seamless for someone else to come in here and make it their unique home if they plan to stay here longer. Something like replacing these knob fixtures, the cabinets, even the countertops is something like a future buyer could do way down the line if you plan on staying in the townhouse long term, making it your own. All right, so this is a fantastic example of what a single family residential neighborhood looks like here in Skye Canyon. So this is just the one I chose to highlight today, but there are definitely a ton of newer homes. Basically all of Skye Canyon is any new home from like the year 2020 until present day. They're actively still building brand new homes. A bunch of neighborhoods in Skye Canyon that are part of the Skye Canyon master plan. So this just gives you an idea of the floor plans of the single family residentials on this side of town. They're very, you know, this is obviously like a 2020 to 2023 new build. This is what a lot of the single family residentials look like here in Skye Canyon. A huge kind of pro for single family residentials versus townhouses and condos is obviously you do get the yard space. So a single family residential on this side of town is a really good fit for somebody who absolutely needs the yard space and cannot make do with simply a patio space like the townhouse we saw together. All right, and then down there is garage. Something really cool I want to show you in this particular home is this very deep walk-in pantry. So if you're looking in Skye Canyon and Providence in this neighborhood of the Northwest and you want a single family residential, I would honestly say that you're likely going to end on the Skye Canyon in the Skye Canyon area. Providence does have a lot of good single family residentials. They're going to be a little bit older. So the single families on the Providence side were mostly built in like 2004, 2006, 2010, those years. And as I said, what I'm walking you through right now is the year 2020, and Skye Canyon has dozens, and I mean dozens of 2020 and newer single family residentials. This is the loft space. I would say this is the biggest reason people who need space end up going with single family residentials. Because, like I said, you need the backyard space or the bathroom space. Plus, you've got a tub and a stand-in shower. Whereas condos and townhouses, they're gonna have likely only a stand-in shower. This is carpet in this particular home, but use your imagination if you ripped up this carpet. If you don't like carpet, it's very easy to do. And then these are gonna be Jack and Jill bedrooms. Right, here we are in this condo community, which is located not in Providence, not in Skye Canyon, but in the heart of Centennial Hills itself. Immediately, I'm turning to the master here. Now, the reason I'm showing you a condo once again is because if you are set on this side of town, but not yet ready for the townhome or the single family residential, maybe you also have a smaller monthly budget, this renovated condo is going to be the best fit for you. This is actually very beautiful. I love what they did in the bathroom here in this condo. This is just one example of what you can get for like the high $200,000 price point to low to mid 300s. And once again, perfect fit for someone with a smaller monthly budget, but essentially somebody who maybe just wants to own a piece of real estate and no longer wants to be renting. This is going to be an amazing option for you, and I wanted to show you how nicely the renovated condos could look. So on this side we have this one bathroom. It is a full bathroom, and then complemented the master very well. And then we have one bedroom. This is the laundry closet, another bedroom, and then over here you do have a small amount of outdoor space with this patio right here. This is going to be a water heater closet plus room for storage. And then this is the condo community. The sun is setting nicely over here in Centennial Hills. This particular unit happens to be on the second floor. However, if you obviously need something first floor, need something with one less or one more bedroom, I could find you that as well. Again, I just wanted to showcase all of the options you have here in the Northwest neighborhoods. So that's a wrap on Skye Canyon and Providence, a deep dive inside of these communities. In this video, you got to find out all of the housing details, you got to look at properties that are actually for sale right now, and I gave you the true insider scoop of what it's like to live in these neighborhoods in Vegas. Now, if you're like, ooh, this is a really cool neighborhood, I could appreciate it, but it's not the right one for me, don't you worry. I have several different neighborhoods I'm going to cover in this series, which I will be uploading once a week on this channel. If you have a specific neighborhood you want me to cover, just leave me a comment in the comment section. And if you want a specific question answered, fill out that form, which is going to be in the description of this video and every other video in this series. Thank you so much for watching, for following along. I really hope you enjoyed the day, and I will see you next week.